Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. I'm Tinesha Davis, this is Fun and Budget, and in this video we are going to go over our May budget. Now, here's the thing. A lot of you know I just started a new job. So, while I got like a $30,000 pay increase from the last time I was working, I still have not received a full paycheck yet, so I do not know how my checks are going to look. So what this means is I can't do my budget the way I typically do my budget. We typically do the budget by what I expect to bring in, and then we budget our lives from there. So because I don't know what I'm going to be bringing in, for a few reasons, we're going to have to do this a different way. So in this video, what we're going to do is take a look at the expenses that I have for the month of May. And the great question is, will I make enough money to actually cover all of these expenses? Okay, so we're going to look at it from that. But back to why, again, I don't know and why I can't necessarily predict, and plus I don't feel like doing all the math, how much my expenses are going to be. Because in this iteration of my work life, I actually increased my benefits. So I did my benefits a little differently than what I have typically done in the past. This is life insurance. This is some of the extra things that the company offers, and what I'm taking advantage of that will be coming out of my paycheck. Some of these will be before taxes. They're like pre-tax things, and a lot of them though are after tax things, right? So I don't know how that paycheck is going to shake out, but I am going to go over my benefits with you guys and how I came up with what I came up with as far as the decisions, what I'm choosing to take and what I'm leaving behind. We're going to actually talk about that in a future video. So that's one reason. The other reason why I don't know is because I am maxing out all of my tax advantage accounts. This is 401k. This is HSA. This is IRAs, right? But this year, we also have something a little different happening. I actually turned 50 years old this year. So what this means is that I'm able to contribute to catch-up funds, okay? So in the past, while I would max out a 401k, this year I actually get to max it out with additional $8,000. That is $32,500 that I get to invest in a 401k out of my pocket, okay? We're also maxing out the HSA, and then we can also max out our IRA with an additional $1,100 that we get to do, right? Sounds easy, but it's not. The reason why it's not is because normally I have 12 months to spread these things out. Because I just started working in April, and I did not invest in April. I got 8 months. I got 8 months to spread these things out. Actually, 17 more paychecks. 17 paychecks to spread these out versus 26 paychecks, okay? So that means that my take-home pay is going to look even less because a bulk of it is going to investments, all right? And that is kind of funny because we went over the video about my goals, 10 goals that I had for my new working life, what I want to do with my money. It almost feels like, did I think I was making $1 million trillion? Because I don't even think, now that we're out here talking and looking at real numbers for real, I have enough money to actually meet those goals like that. The jury's out. The jury is out. But this is what I know. If it starts to feel too tight, my take-home pay, if it starts to feel too tight, I don't necessarily have to invest in my IRA right now. That'll be $7,000 plus $1,000, so $8,100. I don't have to do that right now. I can do that in the first 4 months of next year because I'll have until tax day, April 15th, to actually get that account funded. So that's an option I can play around with. We'll see how it feels. So the other thing is this. When we go over my expenses, there's a few things that's not even included in this list. Those things are the extra mortgage payment. We all know paying off my house early was on that list of what I wanted to accomplish with this new job. Extra mortgage isn't even factored in. We're going to have to refigure that out later. Okay? The IRA, brokerage account, and savings contributions are not factored into this budget. And the reason for that, we already talked about why the IRA may not be a thing yet. We got to figure this out. Let me get a few paychecks under my belt and feel it out, right? How am I living life? So IRA is not there. Brokerage, in the past, outside of my IRA and outside of the 401k and so on and so forth, I also will contribute to a brokerage account. I usually set those things up with auto pay so that I don't even have to think about it. So we're not thinking about that right now either, again, because I need to shake out what I'm really working with. And then also extra savings. In my savings account, we have more than enough to cover emergencies. Like, my emergency fund is well established. I have years saved up. So not even 6 months, not even 1 year. I have multiple years saved up, so I don't have to save more in my savings account. However, what I do normally do is save up extra for taxes. So I normally put that away because I do pay my personal property taxes for my home and my personal property taxes for my car out of pocket. And so normally that extra gets set aside there. So we're going to still figure that part out too, because taxes have to be paid. My expenses also does not speak to food, eating out, miscellaneous household goods, or entertainment. And actually my budget never does. But I just want you to keep in mind that those things are not being spoken to here either, okay? And any other miscellaneous things that may pop up through the month. At the end of the month, we usually revisit this budget and we see what did pop up, how did the budget actually shake out in reality, and how we looking, okay? So with all of that being said, let's talk about these expenses. Woo, child. All right, so first thing we have is the mortgage. $1,536 will be going to the mortgage and $119 to the HOA. $102 the gas bill, and this is based off of what the gas bill was last month. Same with the electricity bill, $191 for the electricity bill. How's your electricity doing out there? I know there are some places where electricity has been through the roof. Virginia Beach, Norfolk, Chesapeake area, Baltimore, Maryland area. I'm talking about $500 and up to like 1,000, like in the low 1,000s, which is crazy talk. But how y'all electricity bills doing? Mine has pretty much been the same, has pretty much been consistent. So I have no complaints. And I think it's also a good thing being that I run a hot tub 24/7 and I have an electric vehicle that I plug in at least once a week, right? So yeah. So the cell phone, $208 for the cell phone, $80 for the internet service. Insurance did go up on my home and car. $540 goes there. $25 for Easy Pass, $429 for my Lucid, my car. Subscription services, $37. We try to keep subscriptions super low in this home. And then Wine Club, which technically is a subscription service, but Wine Club, $48. I do need to cancel it, and I probably will, because I realize I'm not a big fan of that wine. This is Cooper's Hawk. I'm not a big fan. It's okay. I do enjoy doing the wine tastings. Every month we get 2 wine tastings, and Jay and I use that for like date night. So I enjoy that. And maybe it's the fact that Jay always brings home the same wine. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to tell him, don't pick up wine this time. When we go to a wine tasting, let's taste wine and then let's pick out some new wines. But he really loves a good Cabernet. Cooper's Hawk's brand of Cabernet is not my favorite. Okay, it's this one. Cabernet Sauvignon. There we go. There we go. Yeah. $48. So we get 2 bottles a month of wine. And it doesn't have to be this, Jay. It doesn't have to be this. But again, he likes this. But I feel like we've had bottles that we picked up from the grocery store that I like way better as far as the Cab Sav goes. And we get the wine tasting a month for 2. And then you get discounts for, like, if you eat there, if you eat at the restaurant. I think it's like a 10% discount. But anyways, felt fun, but it's probably time to kind of let it go. $48 there. And then I have a doctor's bill, $83. And then what I said before, groceries, restaurants, household miscellaneous, and fun miscellaneous. I don't normally give myself a budget for these things, but I do what I call mindful spending. So I definitely keep track of what I'm spending on a daily basis. And that way I know, am I over? Am I under? Do I even make the money in that month to cover whatever it is I call myself doing? So that's what that is right there. Hair, we're setting aside $200. Yes, these things need to be taken out. Can y'all come help me? $90 for nails and $155 for lashes. Because I have a job and I get to act like it. Travel, $200 is being set aside. We have some things coming up this month. In May, we actually have something every single weekend, honestly. I don't think 200 gonna cut it, but my man. Gifts. I have $1,600 set aside for gifts. That's because for May, it's also a month of birthdays, very important birthdays, but it's also a month of graduations, y'all. It's like everybody and their mama is graduating high school this year. All the seniors. So that's why that's so high. This right here is the thing that is really knocking this budget or my expenses through the roof. Really knocking it through the roof don't even make sense. But it's really what's blowing these numbers up. Personal property taxes on this good home. Y'all, $7,817. That's for the year. That's for the year. $7,817. Now, typically, you wouldn't see this in my expenses because remember what I said before? I usually put money away and I put it in my savings account so that when the bill pops up, we can just pay it. We don't even have to talk about it. But it's here now because the bill popped up. I paid it. I didn't pull the money from my high yield savings account just yet. So I have to put the money back. Typically, it would come from my savings. I don't know, but maybe I was hoping I can cover it with my paychecks, but I'm not going to be able to because I did not factor in the fact that I got to invest all this money, right? But that's what's driving these numbers up. So then we have HSA, $324. My company contributes the rest, so that it will be maxed out. But my part of that is $324, and then 401k, $3,570. $3,570 to max that out to include the catch-up fee. The catch-up that I'm able to do, the additional $8,000. So that comes to expenses of $17,354. $17,354. Am I going to bring in that amount this month? No. No, more than likely, absolutely not. But whatever I'm short, because obviously these things have to be paid. Plus I have to eat, plus I have to live. So whatever I'm short, I am going to pull it from my high yield savings account. I do have a high yield savings account with Goldman Sachs Marcus account. If you are interested in getting a referral code, shoot me an email. I have some referral codes that I can send to you, and that will give you a little bit of bonus. Plus it will give the person who's who it belongs to a little bonus as well. Oh, let me say this. The point of me working again is to further strengthen my future financial positions, and this does include paying off my home, also to continue to travel in a comfortable manner. That's the point of me working again. I'm taking every paycheck as a blessing. I'm taking every paycheck as a gift. I know it's not promised. Y'all remember laid off from jobs 3 times in a span of a year, roundabout, maybe a little bit more than a year, but you know, so I definitely don't take it for granted being employed. But I'm trying to keep in mind at the point of me working again, because again, it always feels like when you get a paycheck, you know, you want to do all of these great responsible things, and I do. But I also want to remember to continue to have fun with my money. That is just not that serious, right? It's not that serious. I feel that me investing, let me tell y'all what this is. Now, typically, it would be higher if we wasn't doing that great big tax bill. But currently, I am investing 28% of this budget. So 28% is going straight to investments. And then the other big thing is that tax. 59% of my money is going to that tax bill, and so on and so forth. But that's not how every month is going to look. So I'm super grateful for that. But I'm going to tell you right now, I plan to enjoy myself. That's the biggest plan. After these things are taken out of my paycheck, before I even get the check, the plan is enjoy. So y'all, that is how my expenses are looking for the month of May. I'm excited to see how this all ends up at the end of the month, okay? Thank y'all so much for being here, and I'm going to see y'all in the next video. Peace.